friends, it's Gwen and I'm back with another video. It is a new day and I'm trying to rock this red lip again because I absolutely love this lipstick and hopefully it's applied better today and not like halfway up my lip. But anyway, let's get into the video. So I have some exciting news for you people. I'm doing another giveaway and the other one hasn't even ended yet and I'm already doing another one. But I did hint at this video on my Snapchat as well as like in previous videos if you've been watching them, which you should. Today's video is going to be a review of a book and then at the end of the video I will give you further details on the giveaway. But the giveaway is going to be an autographed copy of Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas. It is autographed. I will show you. There is the autograph. And it's lovely. It's hardcover, of course, because it just came out. Gwen, you never talk about these series on your channel. Why are you giving this away? Let me explain. But I just want to let you know what the prize is, and I'll talk more about that at the end of the video and how you can win this hardcover edition, autographed hardcover edition of Queen of Shadows. Now, of course, that would be reason enough alone to make the video, but I want to go ahead and review Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. I just read this book. I'm just jumping on this bandwagon. I got this book last month or the month before, and I know I'm late jumping on it. I ended up getting this in the paperback edition because I don't like the hardcover edition where they put like the girl on the front. Like, I really don't like that cover. I like these covers. So I'm gonna try to find this in hardcover copy, so like all of my books will match, but I only have the first one, and then of course I have the fourth or fifth one, whichever one you want to consider it in the series. I have that one in hardcover, I have one to give away, and then I have one for myself. The reason why I'm jumping on this so late is because I hate hype. I hate it. I hate it so much. Like, it ruins books for me. I go in thinking it's going to be amazing and then I'm disappointed and I read it more critically than I probably would without the hype, and I don't think that's fair. So I figured everybody and their mother and brother and cousin is going to be reading Queen of Shadows this month. Screw that noise. I'm going to go back to the beginning and read Throne of Glass. And when I picked, because I knew they would be talking about this, and they, you know, and I'm trying to do this like before I watch any of the spoiler-free reviews of Queen of Shadows. I have seen some snaps of people like, oh, the feels and all that. I can totally understand. But I want to review this for you. One of the reasons why the hype was really like caused me some anxiety is because everybody was loving this book, and when they say they love it and all I'm hearing is positive, I'm really worried that I'm going to be like not as loving. Like, I'm going to pick out things about it that I don't like as much, and that's not really fair to the book. So I waited a while and here I am. I just read it this month and I'm going to share my thoughts if you couldn't already tell that. So here we go. I want to start by saying there is a pronunciation guide at the back of the book. It has the characters and the places, and that was really helpful. But again, it was at the back of the book, and usually I don't turn to the back of the book. But if you watched my review of The Wrath and the Dawn, there was a pronunciation guide at the back of the book, and I missed out on that. Or there wasn't a pronunciation guide. There was a glossary at the back of the book, and that kind of, you know, I was frustrated about that, so I immediately checked the back of the book, and of course there was the pronunciation guide, and there's like an extra story back there and so forth. But this book also has a map right here in the front, which I always enjoy things that are at the front of the book that help you throughout the book. So if you're going to have a map, put it at the front. If you're going to have a pronunciation guide or a glossary, put it at the front. I know glossaries tend to be at the back, but at least make mention of it in the front of the book so we can turn to the back. But yeah, so this one has a map, and I love that about fantasy books, and that was no exception. So our main character, Selena Sardathian, is an assassin, and she's supposedly this badass assassin. And I'm not gonna lie, there's not a lot of chance for her to really prove her skills and how badass she is in this book. You kind of get hints of it, but you really don't get like the total badassness that they make her to be in this book. And you also don't get a lot of world building. You get a little bit, but you need more. But because I know it's the first in a series, I think it's going to be a 6-book series. I know there's going to be world building slowly but surely over the series. So the Crown Prince and the Captain of the Guard rescue Selena from being enslaved, and they're taking her to the palace in front of the king, and she is going to vie for the spot of the king's assassin, do all of his dirty work, and after a negotiated period of time, then she will be free. But first, she has to get through 23 other people, and these people range from assassins to military people, etc., and they're all gruesome, and she needs to defeat them all through a series of training tests to become the king's assassin. I really enjoyed Selena's sassiness. She has some great one-liners, and I just really like how she stands on her own and you really hear her thoughts, and she's trying to kind of find her way and decide if she wants to do this, how much she wants to rebel against this, and you know, she kind of stands on her own 2 feet, and when people like second guess her, she's like, no, I'm badass. So I really like her sassiness. There is kind of a love triangle, and I know people are like, ugh, love triangle, really, Gwen? I hate love triangles, and I usually don't have a problem with love triangles if they're done well, and this one is done amazingly. It's not like an official love triangle, but you can definitely see it leading in that path. You have the Crown Prince, Dorian, and then you have the Captain of the Guard, which is Chaol, and I have to be honest with you, I don't know which one to ship. I don't know if I like Selena and Dorian, and I don't know if I like her with Chaol. Like, I like both of their characters. I think I'm leaning toward Chaol because he just seems like a deeper character, and like he really, it wasn't like insta love with him. He like really likes her, learning about her, and you really don't know a lot about him, so you kind of like, he's like the mysterious one and you want her to end up with him. But Dorian, he's made it pretty much clear that he likes her and that he wants to be with her and so forth. So you're kind of on the fence, or at least I was, on who I really wanted her to end up being with. I will be interested to see in the rest of the series where the love triangle goes. And I know a lot of you are like screaming at the computer right now, I know, but yeah, don't tell me and don't spoil me because I'll be so pissed. The setting is in the castle. It's like half stone, half glass, and I thought that was interesting. And I really want to know like more about why it's like that. But other than really that, they kind of take the trip from where she gets picked up and they travel to the castle, and then she's in the castle and so forth. It really did kind of remind me a lot of I've been reading a couple of books that are like kind of similar fantasy type books, and that is The Wrath and the Dawn and Throne of Glass, and then right now I'm reading Snow Like Ashes, and they're all kind of like at a castle in this thing, and they're all kind of running together a little bit. So that goes to show you that it does have some familiar settings, some familiar tropes, and so forth. So the plot basically follows Selena's journey to the castle, being at the castle, training, and then if she is the last one standing and she is the assassin for the king for a negotiated period of time, then she will be free. So that is what Selena is fighting for. She is fighting for her freedom, and I mean, come on. All countries want to be free, all people want to be free, and that is what she's fighting for, and I think it's a great thing to fight for. I wish there was more training in it. Sometimes it just skips around like, oh, this week we just did this, and then some weeks it goes into a little bit more depth on like what they actually did. But the problem is that when they went in depth, I will remember this scene forever. They're in the training room and she's talking about how there's this black cover over whatever the test is, and she like looks up, and I think it was like archery or something too. That's why it also kind of stuck in my head. But she's talking about there's like a box up there with all the sponsors in it, and I was like, Catching Fire? Hunger Games? What? I mean, it was so similar, that scene, and then I couldn't get that out of my head because it really felt like it was lifted straight from Catching Fire, again, because of the archery thing and Katniss, you know, with her bow. But then I just had what I saw in the movie and in the books of Hunger Games, like in my head. And every time she went to training, I was like, oh, they're in this room and where's Beetee? That was a little similar. So there, like I said, there are some similarities to other books in the, you know, fantasy, dystopian type genre. The conflict, of course, is freedom. She's dueling to be the king's champion, and I keep saying assassin because she is an assassin, but she's dueling to be the king's champion because there are assassins and there are military people like soldiers and stuff like that that are also competing, and there's also a magical element which isn't gone too into depth, but it's definitely touched on and things happen, and you know, I don't want to spoil you. The resolution of the book slayed me. What you think is going to happen does happen, okay? You're going to say, oh, it's predictable. It is a little bit predictable, but you know what? In the process of getting to that point, it is heart-wrenching. I was gripping my chest. I was on the edge of my couch. I was Snapchatting like the last few chapters of the book. It was insane. There were some great one-liners. It was full of action. It was intense. And you just don't know what's gonna happen. There's betrayal and there's twists and there's just all the feels. It was incredible. And then once everything happens and you're like, okay, we've reached the mark, and it is just like, whoo. It's like that feeling you get when you're on a roller coaster and you know you're going down. You know, because you're going up, and you can see that there's a big drop ahead. But then you drop off and you're like, ah, and then you get to the very end and you're just like, whew, that was intense. That was this book. Without a doubt, it was amazing. I loved it. There were a few instances, again, of it being a little bit repetitive. The writing was pretty easy. I read it pretty fast. I rated it 4 stars, and it's a very strong 4 stars, and I would definitely recommend, if you have been holding off, to go ahead and pick up this series, because I definitely plan to move on with the series, and that leads me into the giveaway. So I got the first book, like I said, like last month or the month before, and then randomly, because of Queen of Shadows, people were talking about it, and I was like, you know what? I need to see if I actually like this series. So I started reading Throne of Glass, and I absolutely loved it so much. I went to the bookstore to see if I could get the other books in the series, and of course, they were absolutely sold out, or they didn't have any on hand of any of the other books, so I'm really glad that I got this one. But then I spotted two autographed copies of Queen of Shadows. And I knew I was on the bandwagon, so I knew I had to take the opportunity to get the autographed copy. And it is a monster. It is huge. It's like 600 and some pages. It's 645 pages, so it is a behemoth, and it's going to cost me a lot to ship to you, but it's going to be totally worth it, because if you have not already picked up your copy of Queen of Shadows and you still want to read it, or if you haven't started the series and you've maybe started the first book and you're kind of, you know, trying to get the other books, I mean, I have this one for you. So to enter to win, it's going to be US only, because come on, people, it's going to be a fortune to ship in the US. It's going to be the same rules as my To the Wrath and the Dawn giveaway by Renee Audier. It's going to be the same for this. US only. You have to be 18 or older, or have your parents' permission, because I'm going to need your mailing address. You have to be subscribed to me on YouTube, and you have to be following me on Twitter, because that's how I will let you know that you've won. There will be a Rafflecopter link in the description box below, which will be on my website, and you have to flip over to the Rafflecopter, enter in all your information, and there will be additional ways that you can enter to win. So good luck to all of you. I'm so happy that I decided to get 2 copies, because now I get to give you one, and it's brand new. So I paid full price. It's hardcover. It's autographed. You can imagine. Plus I'm shipping it to you. So it's an amazing giveaway. I really enjoyed Throne of Glass. I want the other books in this series like so bad. You have no idea. If I would have had the other books in this series, I would have immediately like continued on the series. Like I would have marathoned through Queen of Shadows. But alas, my bookstores were sold out of all of the other books, so I'm guessing it's probably going to be like a month or two before they're available, and that's probably because everybody is jumping on this bandwagon because of Queen of Shadows. But don't forget to enter to win. I hope you've enjoyed my review. I know it was a little bit rambly, but I had a lot of thoughts to get out there. And I hope you're all having a lovely day. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment, and let me know if you've already read it. Don't leave me any spoilers, and let me know what your favorite book is in the series. That's all I have for you today. I'll see you again soon. Bye!